and several pleasure boats out from Portland had been caught and presumably lost in the storm. A couple of Coast Guard patrol ships were braving the seas to try to reach them, and a Liberian freighter that had wired she was in trouble was taking water fast. The storm had come to full fury several hours ago. While it had changed course somewhat, making it less deadly, the weather office offered no hope of it lessening until early evening. By that time it was supposed to dissipate in a tropical downpour that would last until dawn. Elizabeth's teenage daughter Marilyn had left a battery-operated transistor radio behind when she'd gone to Ellsworth to finish her final year in high school there, and it was their only contact with the outside world at this moment. As Victoria watched the sea with frightened eyes, she held the small radio in her hand. The announcer from the Bangor station was offering a continuous, excited commentary on the progress of the storm. "The eye of the hurricane seems to have reached this district," he was saying. "We are operating on our emergency power plant, as all electrical power is off in this area. Many phone lines are down, and the streets are dangerous because of falling objects. A large sign has just toppled off the shopping market building, and there are wires down and other risks. The roads are equally hazardous, and we urge you to remain in the comparative safety of your homes." Victoria found herself wondering just how safe even a large building like Collinwood might be. The sprawling mansion of 40-odd rooms was located in such an exposed position on this cliff overlooking the sea that it was getting the brunt of the hurricane. The great elm trees decorating the grounds bent so sharply before the rage of the gale that she feared some of them would come crashing down. The normally calm ocean was terrifying. The waves seemed mountainous, and the frothy white caps were everywhere. Perhaps the lash of the rain and the moaning and screaming of the winds were the most frightening. Although Victoria had been at Collinwood for more than a year, she had never witnessed such a storm before. Turning away from the window, she stood surveying the murky room. It was almost as dark as late evening. Her eyes touched briefly on the portraits of those long-ago members of the Collins family who had lived in the old house. Had any of them witnessed a storm like this? As if in reply to her unspoken question, the radio announcer stated, "This is the worst hurricane to hit the Maine coast since the late 1930s. In October of 1939, a storm of even more terrifying force left devastation and a toll of lost lives we hope will not be matched today." With a frown crossing her attractive, sensitive face, she turned off the radio with its continuous recital of danger and doom. It seemed to her she might be better off without it for a while. She wondered how Elizabeth and Matt were making out with the damage upstairs. Moving down the long room to stand before the big brick fireplace, she wondered how David was doing in the storm. The boy, Roger Collins' little son, had been a reason for coming to this isolated old mansion by the sea. The boy, and her own desire to trace her origins and discover if she was actually a member of the Collins family herself. Elizabeth's letter had arrived at the foundling home where she had been raised from infancy, and to which she had been returned as a teacher. The letter had, out of the blue and mysteriously, offered her the post of governess to the difficult young David. And because Collinsport was fairly close to Bangor, and was linked in her mind with a monthly check that arrived at the foundling home for her from Bangor for many years, she decided to take the position. The hurricane increased in fury momentarily, and the wind in the chimney took on a new shrill note of frenzied shrieking, cold, mocking sound, as if to express the frustration she had known in her long months at the old house. She had not been able to find out anything about herself that counted. She was sure there was some connection between herself and the Collins family, and that was why Elizabeth had wanted her there. But she had not been able to hit on any solid proof. The mystery man of the village, the returned millionaire Burke Devlin, had taken pity on her plight and been sympathetic toward her. But even he had discouraged her hope of finding the secret.